Mayor Mike Johnson says Denver has joined 36 cities and counties in a legal document saying they disagree with the Trump administration's immigration actions in Minneapolis. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Shocker. Minneapolis may be more than 800 miles from the Denver metro, but residents here are still keeping a close eye on the situation there. Last night, faith leaders from across the metro joined together outside the Aurora ICE facility to pray and call for ICE to stop what they're doing in the country. As NBC's Morgan Chesky reports, emotions are so high, a congresswoman was attacked with a liquid during a town hall in Minnesota.
In Minneapolis, a man arrested after confronting Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar at a town hall, spraying an unknown liquid from a syringe.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
President Trump, who has often publicly attacked Omar, telling ABC News overnight that he hadn't seen video of the incident, adding she probably had herself sprayed. Knowing her, Omar posting, quote, "I am okay. I don't let bullies win." And tensions are running high throughout Minneapolis over the Trump administration's immigration policies, with new details emerging about the death of 37-year-old U.S. citizen Alex Preddy. A preliminary internal Customs and Border Protection review obtained by NBC News says 2 officers fired their weapons during the confrontation, but not specifying whether they both hit him. According to the report, during the scuffle, an agent shouted, quote, "He's got a gun." About 5 seconds later, the 2 officers fired. After Preddy was shot, an officer said that he had possession of the ICU nurse's weapon. The report not saying that Preddy ever held or brandished the gun. One woman who took some of the widely circulated video of the incident speaking out yesterday.
Alex being shot is the most memorable part of it. I watched him die.
Saying she had not been contacted by investigators. New videos stoking new fears. This one appears to show an ICE agent trying to enter the city's Ecuadorian consulate. That nation's government sending a notice to its U.S. embassy demanding it not be repeated. While at a growing memorial for Preddy, residents say they're feeling anxious.
We're Minnesota nice, and this is terrible what's happening.
A Colorado Senate committee has passed a bill that would expand the state's red flag law. It's the first bill of the session to be passed onto the full Senate. The measure would allow healthcare and education institutions to ask a judge for an extreme risk protection order when someone may be a danger to themselves or others. Supporters say this gives trusted community groups more tools to step in before violence happens. The law already lets certain individuals temporarily remove firearms from someone in crisis. A Colorado State Patrol trooper is hurt this afternoon after trying to stop a driver on I-25 in the middle of the night. CSP says about 3:45 a.m. a Honda was southbound in the northbound lanes of I-25 near Pueblo. That driver, a woman from Denver, turned around the right direction, but while the trooper was trying to pull her over, another trooper tried to block her in, but then a bystander ran into the cruiser. The Honda driver then kept going before being arrested closer to Fountain. CSP says she now faces a DUI charge, among others. A person was taken to the hospital after a vehicle ended up in the Platte River on Monaco Street in Henderson. Sky 9 flew over the scene at 88th Avenue and I-76 about 10:30 this morning. You can see the vehicle on its side in the water there. South Adams Fire says the driver was able to get out of the car on their own. They were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A home in Lakewood has significant damage after an explosion yesterday afternoon. West Metro Fire says a gas leak led to the blast on Vance Street, which is near Wadsworth and 20th Avenue. Fire crews say one person was inside the home when the explosion happened and was hurt, but would not go to the hospital. All right, let's take you outside, shall we? It's a rinse and repeat day for our weather. No snow in sight and warmer temps. So joining me now is Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact team. Happy Wednesday, Keely.
Hey, happy Wednesday. We are going to get some snow, not just down at the lower elevations. Mountain snow 1 to 3 inches starting this afternoon, overnight into tomorrow. So always good to see that snow falling up in the high country and to hear about the snow falling up in the high country. Nice shot out over downtown Denver. We've got a mix of sunshine and clouds at this noon hour. Temperatures right now, we're at 45 degrees at DIA, 30 20 degrees, though, still in Greeley, 28 in Fort Collins. Temperatures mainly in the 20s, some low 30s up in the high country. Live radar, we're clear. We do have a ridge of high pressure dominating our weather pattern right now. It is flattening out, and it's going to allow for a weak disturbance to move in. You can see that snow right there. That will move in again this afternoon, this evening, really over the northern mountains. This is 8 o'clock tonight. You can see Steamboat Springs getting some snowflakes and a little bit of a winter drive over I-70, Berthoud Pass, Rabbit Ears Pass. Expect some winter driving conditions starting this evening, overnight into tomorrow. Again, nothing too impactful, but we are looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow. So we'll reach our high right around 2, 3 o'clock. I'm thinking we'll get into the 50s, but maybe this cloud coverage is keeping us cooler than we initially thought. So mild and dry, mountain snow, we talked about that. A brief cool down before a warm up for the weekend. More on that coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
Keely, thank you. An overnight count of people living on the street shows progress towards Denver's goal of ending chronic homelessness. Volunteers were out overnight earlier this week for the point-in-time count. They mapped locations and tallied people sleeping outside. The numbers will help determine how much federal funding the city gets to fight homelessness. The city has already spent well over $200 million in the last 3 years to move people indoors. The annual count is dropping, but the mayor's goal is to end unsheltered homelessness, and it's still easier said than done.
Many of the folks that are still outside at this point, they've been offered quite a few options. It is a harder problem for us to solve at this point, and so we are really wrestling with how do we manage this problem, how do we get people connected to services.
The final numbers from this year's point-in-time count, which include other cities in addition to Denver, will come out this summer. Senior citizens will have a new space to find affordable housing in Denver. The historic 140-year-old Barth Hotel downtown will be renovated and converted. It had most recently been used as an assisted living facility. Small rooms with shared bathrooms will be turned into larger studio apartments with private bathrooms. They'll also add in air conditioning, new elevators, and updated plumbing. Construction is set to start next year.